see the universe through a brand new set of eyes.
In the realm of transportation, the Loop is an elevated railroad that lies at the heart of Chicago's L rapid transit system. The Hyperloop is inventor Elon Musk's name for a proposed very high-speed transportation system that will, he says, take folks from San Francisco to Los Angeles in under 30 minutes. It'll be safe, says Musk, and will cost, quote, much less than any other mode of transport, unquote. In transportation, as almost everywhere else, cost is tied closely to energy use. Amazingly, basic energy physics confirms that San Francisco to LA in under 30 minutes is possible at very low energy cost, that is, almost for free. The secret is to go from San Francisco to LA not in the usual manner, but to go directly. Let me show you the way. When I'm not here in the Gamma sector of the Milky Way, I'm located just a few miles outside of San Francisco. Suppose I'm in San Francisco right now. When I point from San Francisco toward LA, I point toward the southeast, toward Southern California. However, when I point directly toward LA, I point southeast and downward. Now I'm really pointing toward LA. Before, I was pointing out along a tangent to the sphere of the Earth. I was not pointing directly at LA. I was pointing out into space, about 2.5 degrees above the true direction toward LA. The shortest path between San Francisco and LA is not a straight line over land. It is a straight line through land. It's a tunnel that angles down from the horizontal by about 2.5 degrees. Such a tunnel can be called a chord tunnel because it follows the chord of a great circle passing through the two cities. The most fantastic chord tunnel would go along a diameter of Earth, clear through the center of the planet. If you could build such a tunnel, which you can't, you would hop into it here in San Francisco, and you would fall through all the way to the Indian Ocean, emerging somewhere near Madagascar. You'd have traveled 8,000 miles rather than the 12,500 the old-fashioned way. A chord tunnel between San Francisco and LA would be only about 3 miles shorter than the overland distance. But, and this is the important part, the first half of the journey into such a tunnel would be entirely downhill. Picture a linear, truly straight roller coaster track that is angled downward at 2.5 degrees. You could let a roller coaster car simply fall through the chord tunnel. The car, coasting downhill, would steadily gain speed until it reached the middle of the chord, at a depth of only about 4 miles. How fast would the car be going? An earlier radical physics video teaches that when you want to know about speed, first think about energy. As the coaster car descends, its potential energy, mgh, turns into kinetic energy, 1/2 mv squared. The support force of the tunnel does no work on the car to affect this transfer of energy. And even at a maximum depth of 4 miles, the acceleration due to gravity is virtually the same as the standard value at Earth's surface. mgh equals 1/2 mv squared. Solving for speed gives v equals the square root of 2gh. G is about 9.8 meters per second, and h is very nearly 6 kilometers. So v equals about 350 meters per second, or nearly 780 miles per hour. That's the speed of sound, plus a bit more. When it reaches the middle of the chord tunnel to LA, our little coaster car would be going Mach 1. Beyond the midpoint, the car would be rolling uphill toward LA. It would gradually and naturally slow down. ultimately coming to rest at the LA station. The entire San Francisco to LA trip would take 42 minutes. This is a straight roller coaster ride that makes use of gravity only to get going and gravity only to stop. There is no external energy input at all, as in an ordinary roller coaster after it gets taken to the top. But with just a little input of energy at the start and end, the trip could easily be made in under 30 minutes, as Elon Musk promises. There are two big challenges with this very high-speed transit system: reducing air drag and building the tunnel in the first place. To reduce drag, the tunnel could be partially evacuated of air so that the coaster car simply doesn't run into as many air molecules. So-called roughing pumps could achieve a rough vacuum that leaves a tiny fraction of 1 atmosphere of pressure inside the tube. At tunnel entrance and exit, a series of guillotine-type doors would open and close very quickly. The energy cost to pump out air that sneaks in would not be prohibitive. Digging the tunnel is another matter. That's hard. But interestingly, cost is not the issue. Since a Chord tunnel crosses no roads and no private property, and since it has virtually no environmental impact, a mile of tunnel costs about as much as a mile of above-ground urban train track. Chord tunnel construction will not be particularly expensive, but it will take a long time. Existing tunnel boring equipment can do the job, even the 4-mile deep midsection, at a rate of about 15 meters per day. But it's 500 kilometers from San Francisco to LA. Digging from both ends and assuming no breakthroughs in boring technology, it would take 50 years to complete the Chord tunnel. So we'd better get started right away, and we'd better improve our tunnel boring machines. Rome wasn't built in a day, but as they'll say about the Chord tunnel someday, Rome was worth the wait.
When you understand the laws of physics, Penny, anything is possible.